All right. April 19th. We are back, baby. Another week. Let's get to the money. Um, Wild things happening. It's almost either too fun to trade or no fun to trade. What's going on with all the Iran and the Strait and just the tweets and the Truth Social and everything else going on. But maybe we get some regular price action this week. Maybe not. Maybe we just keep trading in this madness. But always just protect your accounts, protect your money, protect your capital, and trade the charts, man. That's all you really can do. I pay attention to the fundamentals and the geopolitics, but I trade the charts. So and the charts are telling me something different than what's going on in the world right now. So as always, we start with the bonds, and I think this might be a case where we start to see the bonds and Dixie start running together in tandem for a little bit. Um, the bonds are telling me that overall I'm still bearish on bonds, right? Um, but these last 3 weeks we've had a climb, and I don't know how far we dig into this. Let me turn this on. I don't know how far we dig into this range before we turn over, if we turn over at all. But I do kind of expect us to turn over a little bit. Um, so whether it's this week, I may be a week early with this analysis this week. I just don't think so. So I'm just going to trade what I see. But right now, I am slightly bullish on bonds, which means I would be slightly bearish on Dixie, but I'm not. I'm not slightly bearish on Dixie, and we'll get over to that, and I'll tell you why. So, as always with Dixie, I start with this. This is my, I don't know, 10, 15 year plan for Dixie. It's going to fall off the map, and that's happening. I don't care what anybody says. You can't convince me otherwise. Now, we are in this current range for Dixie, right? So we are still technically in discount or whatnot. But let's go over to weekly. All right, this is still my weekly plan for Dixie, right? You had your accumulation, manipulation, distribution, accumulation. I still think your manipulation takes you at least to this monthly gap. So if we're looking at Dixie, right? Overall Dixie. Once we took our 2025 low, right? We then had a close here above on the weekly. So you had your internal break right here, and then you had a close here. So on this range, I'm bullish, right? So technically, let's just go with the daily. This would mean I just waiting for a discount, which we just hit. We had a weekly imbalance. We just came into it, almost came into our OTE range, but filled in this volume imbalance right here. And look at the close on the daily. So ideally, what I would love to see is this daily, this previous week low hold. So I say all that to say if we look at our range here, your external low was swept, external low created, external high just closed above. So now higher time frame, we're in a bullish. Right? Now, if we go into our 4 hour, we're in a bearish range, right? And so, at the very least, I am bullish until here, until we have this imbalance. We can close up. So to start the week, I would like to see at least see this hold. Um, and if we can hold, then I definitely will be selling against the dollar, right? So just on a lower level, we had our break here, right? So if you had that sweep there, which one is the high? we'll take this one. Once we get a close above that, we're now bullish on the 4 hour, which means we're bullish on the daily, on the weekly, on the daily, and on the 4 hour, right? So if we can get, you know, this kind of close, this, oh, that was disgusting. I don't know what that was, but all right, there. If we get something like that, this is my target, right? This is to fill in this right here. This is going to be my target. Let's check the target. And we'll see what happens once we get to this area. To actually, you know what? Let's just put a. We'll do it like this. Let's see what happens once we get to this area. So this will be my target one. Target one, and this will be my target two. So they can say anything once we get here. We could, I don't know, we could join forces with Iran. We could become one country. We could become one global nation, and everybody's going to use bird feathers to purchase everything. Who knows? I don't know. I don't even care anymore. But just what the charts say. So I'll be bullish. I'm bullish until 98, 892, and possibly beyond. Because if we do come here, right, and then you know we could easily do this, right? We could do something like that, or we can come here and you know we can fall off. Either way, I'm ready for either one. But my ultimate destination is here. So on the euro, let's go on the euro. So we have the inverse, right? Um, oh, I actually wanted to talk about the euro really. So let's go on the daily. Um, so I had these bands right on here, and we've just been playing between, our channel here. And what we've done is we swept out that previous day, and that close was nasty. I, I don't even really want to talk about it because it just I caught that trade from here, from the low, and I let it run up thinking we're gonna run, and I let it come back on me. So don't be me, kids. But same thing, just inverse from Dixie. I expect us to come and fill in some of these imbalances. So I'm sorry, let me go back. So after we took to the 2025 high, we actually broke. This is an internal break. This is our breaker structure here. Um, right, that's your breaker structure here. Um, or shift, market structure shift, whatever you want to call it. So if we are saying what kind of range we were in, we came back into right at OTE right here, right? Um, and now we should continue to sell off. So now we had this. Let me just move this current only. So now we have this sell off that I believe is coming. Um, so on the lower time frame, on this 1 hour, which is it's such a beautiful chart. The euro probably has one of the best charts for this week. What I would like to see is a slight pullback, and then we just bottom out, right? And that would be my first target. Now, why do I keep doing this? Right? I want to see something like this, something like this. Now, I want to show you guys something. I think I put it on a 3-month chart. I did. So these are my seasonal tendencies, right? That I just over the years I've just collected data on things. So for your seasonal tendencies for the euro, specifically for Euro USD, The 20-year, the 15-year, 10-year, 5-year, 2-year charts, right? Your quarter two high is usually in April, right? Sometimes you get it in May, sometimes you get it in June. Your quarter two low has typically been May or April. So what does that tell me? Either April is creating the high and then we're selling off all the way till May, right? Or we're selling off, in this instance, we're selling off in April all the way till April, the end of April, and creating the low of quarter two in April. Either way, what that tells me, we have 11 days left in April. What that tells me is either we're going to sell off through May or we're going to sell off to the end of the month in April. So if that is the case, this is why I have on my chart, uh, this is your current quarter two high. And if so, let's say April is going to make our quarter two high. Okay, we would expect May to create our quarter two low, right? So if that's the case, what we just want to be looking for sales, and the charts tell us, hey, you should be looking for sales right now. Because if May creates our quarter two, or if April creates our quarter two low, we only have 11 days left. That means we have to get here in 11 days. Is it possible? Sure, it's possible. Is it likely? Maybe not. So maybe May does create the quarter two low, and then we get some, some action below here, and then we start to move up. But I don't. We're not going to predict that far. Um, but again, and we just swept previous month high. So and now we're reversing. And I do fully expect this to hold. So you have your low resistance here. Your failure swings here, failure swings here, failure swings here. So we have a lot of targets to the downside. Same thing for pound. Not as pretty as euro, but same thing. Uh, Came into this daily gap, had our sweep, had our double sweep, um, and now we've actually inversed this. What is that? A 1 hour gap? Yeah, we've inversed this 1 hour, right? So um, I think that we pull back, create a high, a swing point to start the week, and I think we just sell off. I really expect this to sell off, and we do have a nice target. We have a bunch of fairy swings right into the daily gap here, and then so that would be my first target, and ultimately, what you're going to see for those who trade the CRT thing, what you're going to see is this is your previous month high, this is your previous month low. So on the higher time frame, this will all be a wick, right? And so I mean, technically, if you want to call this is your order pairing, right? You have your range from here to here. It comes up here, uh, creates your buy side. So now we have to pair your buy side with sell side, right? And we have a perfect pool to do it in, right? Because there's a bunch of fairy swings here. So we're gonna drop all these orders here to everybody waiting down here. So um, Bitcoin's a little interesting. Bitcoin kind of broke out of this range, right, that we were in from 75, that what it is, 76, and 64 or 65 really. But what we're doing is just creating this trend line because we're dropping, right? So anything here to me, it's irrelevant. I haven't been trading Bitcoin. I want to wait till it gets here before again. I just let it stair step all the way to here, and then once we get that, once we get this drop, and we break the trend line, then I'll definitely look to enter right on this pullback. Um, but this is fully what I expect. So there's not much to it, and I fully expect us to come down here to our 49 range. Because if we look on the weekly, yes, um, yeah. So when we were at 126, this was my range for us to come and get. So once we come up here and we can, do I have this on my chart? Sorry, I just saw this. I'm just gonna take it to quarter. Okay, perfect. So, yeah, we have this weekly gap to fill, and then we drop. And again, this is where I'm looking to buy everything under here, right? If we can, oh my God, if we can get here. But I'm starting to buy at 47 area. I'll be looking to buy. Um, Same thing for ETH. We've actually come into the weekly gap for ETH, but same premise. I just want to see, um, a higher climb, steady climb, maybe something higher into the OTE range. And again, we hit my first projection, and even in another standard is below 1,000, right? So 958 is the second, but really the target is 880. The very next target after the low, after 1744, is 880 for me. Um, and gold. Um, gold. Man, gold could rip. Gold could rip either way. I tell you, I don't like trading this. I don't like trading off of this, right? So if you look on the 4 hour, this is this is what you want to see, right? You know, you had your drop, base, slight rally, drop. So you have your base, now you're rallying, right? Rally. So ideally, I would love to see gold do something like this. We come maybe fill in the imbalance completely, you know, come up and fill this imbalance, right? And then just drop. And I would love to see all of this wiped out, just all of it wiped out. Um, so there is an opportunity there for gold. So I know some people are long still on gold. I'm not one of them. So I won't really be looking for longs at a sustained level. I'm going to, if I do trade longs, they will be scalps. They will be short-term targets. Um, because I do expect gold to roll over. Same thing with silver. I expect silver to roll over. You have the same build up. This is so nasty. Just one tweet, whoever is going to do whatever, and then it drops, and then it dies, and then you see silver at $60 again. So don't buy all those troy ounces of anything from Costco or wherever just yet. Save your money. So, let's get on to our oil. So, oil, oil hit the first target. Now, if I'm trading oil just by the charts, it is still bearish to me, right? We're bearish. However, however, what I'm looking at right now, right? We ran through previous week's low, right? Um, but we left a couple of imbalances, a couple gaps up here. I would like to see, um, if even if this low doesn't hold, right? Let's say we get something like this, right? We take that low, we hit target two, um, and then we reverse off of this, right? All the way up, right? And then now we're bullish because they closed the straight again and whatever they say, right? As of now, for me to be bullish on oil, it would have to close above this. If we take out this low, then this would be the area I would need to see that close above. So with oil, I'm just waiting. It's kind of a waiting game to see if this low holds or if we're going to, just rock it up. But either way, short term, I would like to see us at least pull back to this area. Um, which would be the 92, 91, 86, 92 area. Let me turn the prices on this thing. Yeah, let's do that. So I would like to see it pull back to this area. And from there, again, we could do anything. We could take off. We could sell off. Doesn't really matter to me. Well, it matters in real life, but on the charts, either way, I'm prepared for either one. Um, Now this is what's interesting this week. We're at all-time highs, man. I don't like trading all-time highs. And it doesn't even show any signs of slowing down, man. But we've had so many days of rallying. Um, you would think like, oh, it's time for a pullback. We have to pull back. I don't know. I really don't know. However, I do expect it. I expect it. I fully expect a pullback. I there's nothing I can show you on the charts really. Um, but it's just something that we're so overextended. Just on a daily time frame, we're just so overextended on ES, on NQ especially. Like it's just been ripping, man. And the crazy thing is every day I came in last week and I'm like, I'm trying to fade these candles, man. I'm taking shorts, um, and you look back at the end of the week, and you're like, what the was I doing? Like, I made the week so much rougher than it had to be, just because I'm going against the trend, thinking, okay, this is the top, this is the top, this is the top. So I'm winning trades, I'm making money, but I'm just on the wrong side, and ultimately, I couldn't. Obviously, I just had to I had to keep flipping, so I'm taking unnecessary small losses just to flip, just to flip after I'm invalidated, and just to watch it run. And I'm thinking like, damn, I could have just caught it at the bottom. Anyway, it doesn't matter. But um, so I'm not going to call the top. I, I'm not going to call the top. But I do expect, I fully expect a pullback this week, and I expect a decent retracement. I am going to call the top on options though. So me and the homie, we're gonna buy some puts, and we're just gonna watch them print come May 1st. So um, that is what it is. Now, interestingly enough, if you look at the range, we took the low, we've taken the high. Now on YM, we have not taken the high of the range yet. So that is a little bit of early divergence, right? Um, which could signal that maybe YM doesn't even take the high, and we just have that higher time frame divergence. So we're gonna watch and wait and watch and see, and let's see what we get. On the yen is actually, let's go to the weekly first. The yen is interesting. We're so close to the sell side but it doesn't want to push. It doesn't want to push down, and it's been ugly the last couple weeks. Now I say all that to say this though. This last week we got a nice push on the yen pairs, right? On the yen itself. So, which leads me to think, okay, maybe we start pulling up into this range a little bit, right? We do have an imbalance here on the weekly. I'm looking at now. Right. Okay. So we have that we could fill in. And we just left a bunch of failure swings here. So we could target this imbalance before we continue to sell off, which would make total sense because we actually have these equal highs here. We close beautiful on the daily. This is perfect. So if you know, we might look to fill in a lower time frame imbalance here, and then up here, you know, and before we actually sell off. Um, so let's see what we have on the lower time frame. I haven't even checked the lower time. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. So this is actually going to be interesting this week. This actually is. You might see the yen. You might see the yen take off on a Monday, um, and create a low of the week on a Monday. Huh. This is something I'm going to look at. Let me make sure. Let me put that on my watch list. This is very interesting. So let's see if this previous day. I'm actually just going to put this in, and let's see that stay. We might just take this all the way up, at least to these highs, these equals. All right, cool. So that's on my list. Now as far as euro pound, um, the way we closed the weekly in this range, um, looks like we're respecting this weekly gap. Now, do we slide through it or do we respect it and continue to the highs? Overall, higher time frame, I am bearish. I am bearish on the euro pound. Um, but right now, right now, I might need a little more information because I just don't like the way this looks. Let's see. Oops, sorry. Let's take a look at the 1 hour. All right. Yeah, we just stuck inside this range. Um, what I would actually like to see is maybe us to come take this previous week low, fill in this gap completely, and then maybe take off. If not, if we get a nice strong close below here, I definitely be bearish the euro pound. But that still, as of right now, we got a slight break of structure with the wick. We no close yet, so but then maybe just an early indication. So yeah, maybe we come down here to sweep out this low, and then we come out. You know, now we could drop from here, or we can continue. I don't know. But as of right now, uh, I'm kind of torn between these two. But overall, I would say I'm bullish euro for now. For now, Aussie, uh, I'm I'm bullish Aussie. Aussie against the New Zealand dollar. So that's just that. And CAD CHF. This is still one of my most interesting plays. Um, I wanted to buy from here. Last week I was in a couple other trades, so I didn't get in CAD CHF. But this will be one I will be in this week. So we did on the weekly. We filled in our gap completely and had a nice reaction. Nice reaction. We have so much upside to get to. Um, So I fully expect us to. I don't know if this one holds, but what I'm probably going to do, we do have some other imbalances down here we could fill in. I would like to see this hold though. I don't want to see us run this again. So um, after we create some more structure, whether it be this up here or whether it's this and then we take out this short-term low and then this. Um, this is what I expect to see. So I would like to see either one of those take place. For our last, this is what I have as our strength and weaknesses this week. All right. Oops. Sorry. So I fully expect USD to flip. I expect CAD to flip on news. Um, CHF is strong, and I have yen a little stronger this week. I have Aussie right after that, but Euro, Pound, New Zealand. I don't have many long plays, but So at the moment, I'm still long indices and I'm long CAD CHF. Shorts, I have early in the week, I do have euro, pound, gold, silver, euro, CHF, and NZD CAD, and then indices on news with the flip, right? So whenever you get some, whatever they say, I don't even know anymore. Whenever they don't allow birds and ducks and insects to fly, then you can take your shorts on indices. So that's all I have this week. Trade safe, make your money, take your profit, go break even. Uh, don't revenge, don't over risk. Um, don't let somebody else's bias change yours. Don't move your stop, move your stop. Um, you know, don't move your take profit, move your take profit. Whatever you feel, do whatever you feel, man. But just know every decision is yours. So I catch y'all boys on the charts.